A reading from Genesis chapter 3. Now the serpent was more crafty than any other wild animal that the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, "Did God say to you, 'You shall not eat from any tree in the garden'?" The woman said to the serpent, "We may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden, but God said, 'You shall not eat of the fruit of the tree that is in the middle of the garden, nor shall you touch it, or you shall die.' But the serpent said to the woman, 'You will not die, for God knows that when you eat of it your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil.' So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a delight to the eyes, and that the tree was to be desired to make one wise, she took of its fruit and ate. And she also gave some to her husband, who was with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made loincloths for themselves. They heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden at the time of the evening breeze. And the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God among the trees of the garden. But the Lord God called to the man and said to him, "Where are you?" The man replied, "I heard the sound of you in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked and I hid myself." God said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree of which I commanded you not to eat?" The man said, "The woman whom you gave me, she gave me the fruit from the tree, and I ate." Then the Lord God said to the woman, "What is this that you have done?" The woman said, "The serpent tricked me, and I ate." This passage from Genesis chapter 3 can be for us like a parable of living today. In the passage, Adam and Eve are walking in the most wonderful garden given them by God, paradise. And as they're walking, they come across a snake, a serpent. They're not frightened of the serpent. The serpent then lures Eve into conversation, and the serpent discovers her vulnerability. That is, if she eats of the tree in the center of the garden, she will die. The serpent strikes then and uses that and gives Eve options, choices, and that is where sin can be chosen. Sin to walk away from God, turn away from Him. And that is where our sin comes, in our options and choices. When we have sinned, we tend to follow the pattern of Adam, making excuses, blaming the God, blaming the woman. So let us take this story and make it a story for today. Look for the serpents in our lives. Always take the option for God. And this story demonstrates what trust can be about. If we trust God, and perhaps don't take the sweetest and the easiest choice, then paradise is where we shall live. This paradise is in the future, and whilst we now have to make options and choices, always to go towards God, we know that we have a loving God and a God whom we can completely trust. And in the fullness of time, we will again walk in paradise in the cool of the evening.